But Biden openly held back a $1 billion taxpayer money for the government of Ukraine. Remember he said, until they fired a prosecutor, when they fired that prosecutor. And this prosecutor was after Hunter and the company that was paying him a fortune of money. Remember Joe Biden stood up and said, and I looked at them and I said, you're not getting that $1 billion. You're not, until you get rid of the, I can't believe he did that. Can you imagine if I did that? I wouldn't be here right now, I suspect. And nobody picks it up. Nobody wants to pick it up. It doesn't get any worse. It doesn't get any worse than that. Although, maybe it does. It's called the laptop from hell. That gets worse. And yet they go after me over and over again about something that's not even a crime. They make up Russia, 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 which was a plan made up by crooked Hillary Clinton, Adam Shifty Schiff, and the Democrats, the DNC. They then made up a fake phone call. They took a phone call that was perfect, and they pretended that I said things that weren't even in there. They actually imitated. Remember Schiff? He stood up in Congress, and he repeated the call like I was a gangster. Over and over again, quid pro quo. Remember the term, quid pro quo? But there wasn't. I called downstairs at the White House. I said, listen, do we have that call taped? Because there's no way I said those things. And they called back and tell me, yes, sir, we do, essentially. We had transcripts of the call. Thank goodness we had transcripts, because these guys they're sick people, and they were looking to do a number. I'll tell you how bad they are. So, and I tell this story seldom, but it's a strong story, Monica. Thank you very much for the great job you do, by the way. What a defender she is. But they're so bad. So they come up with this Russia, Russia, Russia hoax. And they know it's a hoax. They know it's a hoax. I know it's a hoax, too. But they know it's a hoax. And Adam Shifty Schiff comes out from a very secretive room, intelligence committee or whatever, and he meets the press right in front. The press is going crazy. They're going crazy because they'll do anything to hurt Trump. Anything. They're evil people in many cases. Some cases, they're great people. But a lot of evil people. And he stands up before a microphone. Now, this is a man who knows it's a fake story. Russia, Russia, Russia. They checked 6 years of phone calls. Millions of calls were made from my office. Not one call to Russia. Not one call. They were surprised. They weren't surprised. But some people were surprised. But he stood up before the microphones. And he said, Donald Trump Jr. will go to prison for what he has done with Russia. My son is going to go to prison. He said, my son's going to go to prison for what he's done with Russia. And my son didn't have anything to do with it. And he knew it was a fake story. And when it was finally revealed, now the Times, the Washington Post, they all admit it was a fake story. We're trying to get the Pulitzer Prize taken away. They got Pulitzer Prizes. We're suing. You know what the prize says? For its concise and accurate reporting on the Russia, Russia, Russia event. And they have it actually totally wrong. Actually, Mark Levin should get a prize. And Greg Jarrett should get a prize. And even it's not his deal, Sean Hannity should get a prize. And frankly, Jesse should get a prize. Jesse should. And a lot of people, and I'll tell you, you know who should get a prize? Tucker should get a prize. Tucker Carlson. They're very strong. And we have numerous writers that should get it, but the ones that got it were the New York Times, certain reporters from the New York Times, and certain reporters from the Washington Post. They got the Pulitzer Prize, and they were exactly wrong. And now they've even admitted that it was a hoax. It was a total hoax, and they got the prize. But how bad is a person that stands before a big gaggle of press, and they just can't get enough, and says that my son is going to prison for something that he knows was a hoax? Only a really bad person would do that. But they then came in with Ukraine, 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 the Mueller hoax. How did Mueller present himself at the hearings? It wasn't too pretty. But you know what? I'll say this. At least they came to the right conclusion. Because I was concerned they'd come to the conclusion. I think we have prosecutors now. They don't give a damn if you're guilty. They're looking at me in Atlanta on a perfect phone call. I said, even more perfect than my perfect call to Ukraine. That was a perfect call. This is even more perfect. By the way, where's Hunter? Where is Hunter? Remember? Where's Hunter? Will there ever be a time when Joe Biden says, this thing with Hunter just isn't working out well? I'm starting to get a little angry at Hunter. Or when Hunter comes to him and says, Dad, we have a problem. What? What is it, son? Another one? Oh, son, you're a disaster, son. Son, you're a disaster. Dad, we have a problem. I left my laptop at the repair shop. And Joe looks at him and says, what's on it, son? What's on it? And Hunter looks back and he says, every single crime that you've ever committed, Dad. And hence it's called The Laptop from Hell. And Miranda Devine did a great book on that. And she actually thanked me. She said, I got the name from Trump. She told me, she said, I want to thank you for the name. I said, no charge. But she did a great job. Great book, The Laptop from Hell. If I so much as fly over a blue state, they do so many bad things. It's just crazy. The racist Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, who is presiding over one of the most dangerous and violent cities in the United States. You have to see this. The United States, where killings are taking place at a number like nobody's ever seen, right in Manhattan. And he's doing nothing about it, nothing whatsoever. No cash bail for people that just kill people. Knife them in the back, hit them over the head with a baseball bat, push them into subways when the train is right there. But this racist DA is being pushed by radical left Democrats, the fake news media, and the Department of Injustice to bring charges against me for now ancient no-affair story of Stormy Horseface Daniels. No attraction. No affair. I call it no affair. Where there is no crime anyway, and charges have never been brought in such a case before. And this case has been looked by every prosecutor. They're all looking. They looked at it for years now. She was represented by Michael Avenatti. How's he doing? He's now in jail. And the whole thing is a complete con job. And she was ordered to pay me, a federal court ordered this, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But they're still looking at it. They're still looking. And all they do is they cause anger and problems for our country because our people aren't going to take this stuff. It never ends. In the meantime, Hunter and Joe Biden skate. You know, they skate. They go away free. What's going on with that? I mean, that laptop is a disaster. Has anyone read this thing? How can it be possible? They're looking in Delaware. How's he doing? He's not the same guy that I have for the document hoax. I have a man, he's a total animal, known to be. And he's looking. In the meantime, Biden's guy that's looking. Don't forget, I had a very strong privilege as president. I was able to do things that he wasn't able to do as vice president and wasn't able to do as a senator. The Senate, even the Senate, they can't believe it. The Senate cannot believe it. But when you look at what happened, they're not even looking at him. They haven't even started. Congress and various radical left Democrat prosecutors, in an effort to stop me, go to the Supreme Court twice. They went twice, and the Supreme Court, in a moment of total weakness, gives them everything they want in order to try and prosecute Trump, everything. Thank you very much, Supreme Court. I appreciate it. But they found nothing. They looked at 11 million pages of documents. It's a big company. It's a great company. Remember my taxes? We're after his taxes. 5 years I heard about my taxes. They came out about 2 months ago. Everyone said, wow, it's a great company he built. That's great. That's the end of it. No, right? And you know, I had the biggest and most prestigious, one of them at least, law firms, accounting firms, doing all this stuff. I don't do it. They do it. You rely on these people. They do it. But I didn't hear one word. And how stupid am I telling you this story right now? Because now we got to find something in there. He made a typographical error. There's a revolution going on within the FBI because they don't want to be doing what they're being told to do because they know right from wrong. I'm talking about the people that work in the FBI. And they like me and they like you a lot. So many of them. A recent article in the Washington Post, of all papers, stated very succinctly that many did not want to raid Mar-a-Lago. They didn't want the agents. They said, that's terrible. But they were forced to do so by their Marxist radical left leadership. And it drove my popularity numbers through the roof. Who would think this? I got impeached and I went up 11 points. It's not supposed to work like that. Mark, when Nixon got impeached, it went down, right? It was a spiral down. He couldn't stop it. I got impeached, we went up. But the FBI people, they didn't want to do this. To those in the FBI that are with us, I want to thank you very much. I really do. I want to thank you. Stay strong. Stay strong. Help is coming. Then there's the racist DA from Atlanta, whose city is among the most violent and dangerous places per capita in the country. More murders than even Chicago per capita. It's totally out of control, and yet she has her kangaroo court focused on a perfect phone call that I made, while her jury foreman, a rather bizarre young woman, is going around doing media interviews and saying exactly what's going on in this one of many grand juries.